Welcome to the Moonrise Human Design channel. This is a space for you to learn and explore human design, which is a system that helps you better know and love yourself and therefore helps you grow your capacity to love other people.
My name is Sam Fotenhauer. I'm an embodiment coach, an intuitive, and a human design teacher based in Austin, Texas.
My name is Nadia Last. I'm a therapist and a human design teacher based in the Bay Area, California.
Together, we host the Moonrise Human Design podcast. We offer live and self-paced human design trainings for those who want to learn how to read charts. We do one-on-one and partnership readings, and we offer price-accessible, personalized human design guidebooks.
You can learn all about those offerings in the notes for this video. And please, if you like this content, like, subscribe, and share with someone that you love.
Today, we are talking about the 1-3 profile line.
Yes, and we have videos for all 12 of the profiles. So if you're interested in learning more about your family members, your friends, you can learn all about those in our profile playlist. But yes, the 1-3 profile.
Nadia, what is a profile?
A profile is a way that you could actually share your gifts with the world. So studying your profile gives you a better glimpse into what is the more nuanced way that your energy wants to be shared with the world around you.
It's your role, it's your personality, and it's the way that you kind of get in there and share these gifts that you have with others. You'll have two numbers, you have the 1 and the 3. And this is because there's 6 lines to the profile line. There's a line 1, a line 2, a line 3, continue to 6. And everybody has 2 lines. So the 1-3 is a line 1 and a line 3. The order of this matters. Why does it matter?
The first number in your profile, so the 1 in this instance, is the quality that you really lead with. Think of this as the protagonist in your life story. This is also the quality that you will likely be more aware of as you start to learn human design. What about the second number, Sam?
The second is what we call the unconscious profile line, and we kind of think of it as like the supporting role. You may connect to it, but usually it's something that other people see in you more clearly than you see in yourself. Either way, they're both valuable. They're both a big part of your life. And one thing I want to note is that, there's 12 different profile archetypes. There's way more than 12 personalities. So you may be looking at someone else who's a 1-3 and be like, we're not that similar. There are ways that you are absolutely similar, but it may not be your humor. It may not be your aesthetic or what you like to do for fun. It's more about the way that you internalize information and the way that you share it and the way that you share your gifts with the world. So why don't we get into the 1-3? I'll start because I really relate to the line 1. I have that in my profile. The first line is the investigator. The investigator is here to do the research. They want to learn all the information. They're very curious about the things that excite them or pique their interest, and they're trying to develop a strong foundation so they feel safe and secure. So this thirst for knowledge is partly to satisfy their curiosity, but it's also because when they feel like they can understand everything, they feel more safe and secure in the world and in making decisions and in progressing forward. They're the ones who are going to want to understand why. They're the ones that are going to want to go down the rabbit hole, and they're here to become the experts and the authority. So as a 1-3, you're here to develop an expertise and to share that knowledge. It can be really easy for you to have teachers that you love, have authors, maybe have YouTubers, mentors, people that you love to learn from, and that's amazing. But you're also meant to do the teaching. 1-lines often underestimate how much they know and have this tendency to want to know everything perfectly before they get out there. But the important lesson for you is that you start sharing what you know, because only in that process that you start to recognize your own skill set and the knowledge that you've developed, and you actually develop it further.
One other quality of the 1 line, and there's so many, and we would encourage you to either seek out a reading from one of us or join our training if you want to dive deeper. But another quality that I find to be really unique to the 1 line is that first lines, you need to trust what it is that you want to study. Follow the threads of your curiosity. They matter. Sam has a 1 in her profile, and you love to study human design as one example of that. But it can feel seemingly random. Just trust the things that feel really good for you to dive deeper in, even if you haven't found that you're an expert quite yet, or even if it doesn't necessarily relate to what you used to be studying. There's wisdom and intelligence in what it is that you're here to be curious about.
It really is. That's such a good point. I remember when I first learned about my one line, I was practicing corporate law in New York and I was doing all the securities litigation research. I remember thinking, I hate reading about that. It's so boring. Are you sure this is right? And then I realized, oh, it's not that I love to study everything. And the things that I was drawn to, I couldn't figure out, like, it felt annoying to me that I was drawn to them because I couldn't figure out how to use them. But once I leaned into it and trusted it more, I realized why those things are valuable and that you're drawn to those things for a reason.
Yes, human design is a system that's all about learning how to trust yourself and learning how to turn up the brightness of what it is that your inner self is yearning for. So as a first line, especially leading with the one line, this is the first number in your profile. You are here to really lead through this world with this sense of investigative wonder about the world. There's so much to investigate for you, and trusting what really tugs on your curiosity.
Let's talk about the third line.
Yes.
So the third line, the human design language calls it the martyr, which people always ask me about because that word can have a difficult connotation. What is the third line about?
So the third line is here to live life through trial and error. As a third line or a martyr type, your sacrifice to humanity, so to speak, is that you're trying everything so that other people don't have to. You are here to learn experientially. If someone says to you, oh, don't try that, that doesn't work, that's not what's meant for you. You're meant to really dive headfirst into the experiences that allow you to learn through doing. And so as a quality of this, one of the qualities that I love about the third line is that there is no failure, so to speak. You are actually just designed to dive into things. And if something doesn't work, it gets you that much closer to the thing that does work. So as you're experimenting through life and really diving into experiences head first, ask yourself afterward, what did I learn from that experience? How does that subtly sort of shift my focus as I lean into the next experiment thereafter?
The third line has this natural built-in resiliency. So this natural resiliency, because part of your life is to kind of bump up against life. That's this trial and error. You will try things and they won't meet your expectation or play out exactly like you think. And as Nadia said, that doesn't mean it's a failure. It doesn't mean it's a mistake. If you learn something, then it can be a great use of your time. But you will have to kind of get comfortable with the idea that your whole life will be somewhat of an experiment in some ways. And so releasing any conditioning or, anybody that told you by time I'm this age, my life has to look perfect in this way. By time I'm this age, all this needs to be able to fit into a little bow. That's not what life is. Instead, you could view it as, this is a great adventure for me. I get the ability to explore and to always kind of be awakening to new ideas, to new ways of doing things, to new perspectives. I have the ability to have this incredible growth mindset.
Absolutely. So how do those numbers work together? The 1 and the 3 are interesting because they almost seem at first glance a little bit juxtaposed in their energy. The first line within you is going to want to be sort of like insular and study the things that it wants to study. You want to be sort of left alone to dive deep into the different rabbit holes of research and information that you'd like to pore over. But the third line in you is sort of the opposite in a way. It's getting out into the world and trying things head first. So one example of this as a 1-3, let's say you want to find the best banana bread recipe. You're going to go into your one line, research, scour the internet, perhaps ask friends and family, go through old family recipes and accumulate perhaps the 10 best banana bread recipes that you can find. Then your third line is meant to be applied in trying them out yourself, getting a little dirty, rolling up your sleeves and getting your hands a bit messy. Going into your kitchen and trying all 10 of those recipes so you can say, listen, 2 of those recipes, terrible, wouldn't try them again. 3 of them, amazing. And then these 5 are a cut above the rest. And this one banana bread recipe, based on my experience, which cannot be argued with, it's experiential learning, this is the best banana bread recipe, in my opinion.
Both the line 1 and the line 3 are like the research house. They're just different types of research. So one of them is learning from authorities. It's maybe more learning from books or podcasts or information. The other one's learning by actually getting out there and doing it. But both are essential to develop information. I think 1-3 is also a really cool combination as like an authority, as a teacher, as someone sharing knowledge, because it's it has both ends of it. It's like, let me understand the theory. Let me understand like the way people talk about it. Let me understand kind of the thinking behind it. And then I'm going to get out there and do it. It's not enough for me just to read about it in a book. I want to go out there and apply it in my life. I want to see how this actually works, which gives you a very well-rounded knowledge.
Yes. You have to balance both of these parts of yourself. So if you're a 1-3, ask yourself, have I been too much in the researching and sort of like being outside of life just researching? Or have I been too much in the experiential part of things? Do I need to go back and sort of refine my experiential learnings? You're going to be constantly balancing these two parts of yourself to find the right level of fulfillment and satisfaction. And I would say that questions that you can ask yourself if you're a 1-3, the one line is, what do I want people to ask me about? What information do I want to share? What do I know a lot about that I love sharing? And then as a third line, what experiences have you been through that other people can learn from?
That's such a great combination. I love those questions. Nadia, is there anything that you want to say before we close out this video?
1-3 is probably the most like headfirst into life of all the different profiles. So just give yourself permission to make the most out of your experiences. We love you 1-3s.
You guys are amazing. We're so glad that you're here. Thank you for joining us on this YouTube channel. Nadia and I have a podcast, the Moonrise Human Design Podcast. We have trainings. We have readings, we have PDF guidebooks. If you want more of us, we each have our own individual podcasts. Mine is the Wild River podcast, the Ryan Business Wild River.
Mine is called The Current.
Check us out there, and we'd love to hear from you and see how this is resonating.
Thanks so much.